I can see there's no one in the chat. There's no one waiting because I'm assuming that no one thought I would be on time. And you know what? I can't even be angry with you. I cannot blame you for not thinking that I would be on time. But at the same time, how very dare you? How very dare you indeed. Now, I am just setting up my laptop as well, just to make sure that I can see who's in the chat. And I'm just moving a print. There we are. You won't be hearing any printing in the background today because I'm having an absolute nightmare with my printer at the moment. But I'm just enjoying some time where I'm not going to have to look forward to a print that's just been a complete failure. Hello, Glenn. Hello, Steve. So yes, what have I just printed? I've just printed some Warmaster Leopold's Leopard Company pikemen. So it was a good print. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Most of them came out okay. Some of them didn't. But yeah, they were for Warmaster, which is a game I am currently really enjoying. In fact, I am hoping to run a Warmaster event at BritCon this year. But that's enough about tiny fantasy models. Hello, Lucas. Well, I hope so as well. I've got a review of some of your figures today, actually. So you might want to stick around for that. Those of you who have seen my reviews know that I can be quite scathing at times. Let's see if Lucas is up for a warlord style bashing. Let's find out together, shall we? But while we're here, I also wanted to do this first one is going to be the start of a new project, of which I will be using Lucas's fantastic piano miniatures models. So there's a bit of a spoiler for the review covered in there. But I also wanted to have a look at some other things as well. One of which is not really on topic you would think to start off with, but I promise it is. And in fact, we'll start off with that one. And that is this set here. Now, some of you may know that I am a bit of a weeb. So that means I like my all things Japanesey. Not all things Japanese, but many things Japanese I enjoy. And for that reason, I am doing a World War II Japanese army. One of the other reasons, let me just go with that. One of the other reasons is that I don't know what's listening with headphones then. One of the other reasons is that it's a little bit like I did my Flames of War SS. The idea, can I say that now? I don't know, I might be able to. We'll call them Angry Waffle Soldiers from now on. But the reason why I wanted to do them is because I wanted to do the baddies, and there was absolutely no equivocation that they were the baddies. So let's have a look. Now, what I'm more interested in these is... we've scared Lucas off, everyone. So, no, I can give you a preview. It's not going to be a bashing, don't worry. Now, what I wanted to look at these for, really, is... These are brand new models. And they are cast in the new Warlord Resin. Now, some of you will have had the old Warlord Resin, which they cast Prussian Hussars and the Spanish Infantry. Now, I did a review of the Spanish Infantry when I unboxed those. This, however, is their new resin, or Restec. I'm not entirely sure what it is. Restec is a resin plastic mix. And these are the new officers that you get for the Japanese. Now, the reason why I wanted to have a look at these is obviously Napoleonic figures coming forward are going to be made out of this. So I wanted to do a quick review. Now, unfortunately, my camera is not really picking up super details. Again, it's quite light up here, actually. The sun's gone in for today, but it's still quite light. So let's see if I can change the old perspective on here. Hang on. What's this do? Oh no, nope, that's not what we want to do. Right, so what I can tell you, let's go here. So I'm going to grab hold of this bit of flash. So there is a little bit of flash on them. I've not cleaned these up. This is the first time I've even opened the pack. So there's a gate on the bottom there. So that's going to need to come off. That knife is no good. Do I have blade I can use? No, I pretty much uniquely amongst the people of Britain don't seem to have a sharp knife with me. Hang on a minute, I've got some clippers. Ugh. Oh, here we are. Right, so we've got a gate on the bottom here, so that needs to come off. So I've got that off. Now, the reason I wanted to grab this bit of flash was to show you that it is reasonably flexible. You can see there's quite a bit of movement on the sword scabbard there. Now, I don't necessarily mind that. It feels a lot firmer. Now, I have to say, I haven't done the Prussian Hussars. Or is it Dragoons? It's either Hussars or Dragoons, I'm not sure. I haven't got any of those. I've got the Spanish, but not them. And this appears to be a lot firmer. Now, if I try and bend him at the ankles, he'll go a little bit, as you can see. I don't want to bend any more than that, because I think he's going to snap. Now, this is unlike the Prussians and the Spanish. They were a lot softer. Now, one thing that I will say is, speaking of softness, I don't think the camera is going to pick this up, I'm afraid. I'm going to try and do it with the back to the light. Well, let me try and do it against... There we are. You can't really see it that well, but the face is quite nicely detailed. You've got the edge of the cheeks here. So running down there, that's quite nice. There's a slightly lesser one there. His eyes are nicely modelled on, his lips. That's all pretty good. But it's all a bit soft. He doesn't have very sharp features. Now, he is Japanese. Japanese people have different facial structures to Caucasians, so it could be an element of that. This guy's face is less sort of Han than the other one. Maybe he could be Manchukuo, perhaps. He's got his a riding crop or a Wizkashi or whatever it's called. Not sure. Tanto it might even be. I'm not sure about that one. I think it's supposed to be a Tanto. Why you'd have that, I don't know. But yeah, he's another one. It's a bit of a boring pose, that one. Not super thrilled with him. He's nice. I like him. He would make a good artillery observer or something like that. This guy, really like. He's got the SMG over his shoulder. He's got his katana in his hand there. He's got his scrimmage on his helmet. I really like him. He'd make a good like island defender. Happy with him. And then the last guy, where is he? Again, this one. Maybe these two could go together as an artillery observation team. He definitely looks more. It's silly to say. He definitely looks more Chinese than Japanese, particularly for Japanese officers in World War II. Were very small and slight. So he's got his binos, he's got his katana there, although it looks more like a machete, to be honest. He's got the pouches, that's all very nice. He's got his pistol holster there as well. Yeah, he's nice. So basically what I wanted to do, though, more than the quality of the models, was the quality of the resin. Now, as I say, there's very little cleanup on this. Just the gate on the bottom, I think they probably all need that. Well, I might get away with it on this guy. Let's have a look. Yeah, I might get away with it on him. But so that needs trimming off, which is, that's to be expected. And then there's a little gate on the edge of these katanas. This one here. Now, let me get him. Yeah, you can see it on the camera there, although it's not focusing very well. Let's see if I can change that. Nope, I can't. Here, there's quite a prominent mold line. You can see it on his tunic there as well, all down the side of his leg. So that's down here. That's a little disappointing. That's going to need shaving off. It's not going to take very long. But these are brand new models, so the fact that there's a mold line at all is a little bit of a shame. But one thing it does show is that these are cast. Now, I've heard some people talk about commercial companies, Games Workshop, Warlord, using 3D prints. If one were to be purchasing recast models from China, for instance, you may think that they were 3D printed. Obviously, I wouldn't know, but these ones here, that mold line confirms it. Definitely cast in the old two-part molds I don't think there's going to be any inclusions in these. I think they're fairly simple. They'll just stamp all 4 of them out on a in a mold, or yeah, like that. There you go. Or possibly if they're in a centrifugal mold, bung them in like that. Jobs are good. But overall, really good. The resin is better than it is for the Spanish. That I can say. So that is a positive. Those of you who have got resin epic models, let me know. Does it work on a smaller scale? I don't mind a bit of spring in these. I don't mind the fact that if I drop him on the scabbard, hopefully it will bounce rather than just shear off. That's one of the things that a lot of people say about resin, and they're semi-right, is that if you drop them, then they can shatter. They can shatter, but they tend not to. Or that's in my experience anyway. Although that said, I haven't dropped any resin from a great height. They'll shatter more than plastic, but probably less than metal. So those are they. Now, something else that I just wanted to quickly point out is I don't know if Warlord do these for anything else. They're possibly for the sails for Black Seas. But this is their strip of Japanese flags. I just wanted to point out that they aren't self-adhesive, so that you're going to cut these out and glue them on. That's going to be quite fiddly for these ones for the rifles. Although it's you just score it there and fold it back on itself. That goes round the rifle. So they're reasonably easy, but they're going to be they're easy to see how to use them, but they're going to be quite difficult to apply, I think. So I may end up buying some self-adhesive ones. A little bit disappointed with them, but I will say one thing: the yellow, sort of the cloth colour, really nice. So that they are nice. They're nice for what they are. It's just a shame they're not self-adhesive. Right, so that's that review out of the way. Let me jump into the chat. I can see it's kicking off. Hello, Mage Clanger from Huddersfield. Very nice. I'm painting the never-ending 28mm Napoleonic Saxons Calpe. Yes, there's some Kickstarter Saxons in the offing, isn't there? Very scary. Luke Farrell Major, let me see. Can we write some the Germany? Well, yes, absolutely. Yeah, let's get the 1813 one out of the way. Then we can look at 1805. So, hello, Luke. Hello, Paul. Hello, David. Hello, Steve. Hello, Glenn. I've always said hello, Glenn, but hello again. What year did the French discontinue the use of the bicorn? Officially 1808. However, I would be very surprised if they got rid of them altogether. One of Infinity. Yes, no, they. You know what? I'm sure we can get the Japanese into the Napoleonic Wars as well. But yes, 1808 was the official adopting of the Shako. But there were troops on campaign in 1808. You still had the Friedland campaign kicking off. And there were troops who were very quickly moved from Spain up into France. Now, I would suggest that those troops might have been the first to get the Shakos, actually. A lot of people say, well, they were on campaign, but I think they will have been resupplied on their way through France. Certainly, Sergeant Burgoyne talks about how they got like relays of carriages, and I think it's pretty reasonable to assume that one of those stopping off points they'd be given their new kit. So officially 1808. However, as I say, there were troops who were on campaign in Germany. They probably would have kept the bicorns a bit later, and the units that stayed in Spain, they definitely would have kept their bicorns a lot later. If you want a hard cut-off, I don't think there is one. I think there would have been troops with bicorns at Waterloo. But if you want to say, yeah, this is when bicorns should really not be seen, if you bothered about that kind of thing, then I would probably say the invasion of Russia in 1812. By then, I think everyone had been sort of resupplied for a couple of years, and I think Shakos would probably have been the norm by then. Now, I said I wanted to do a new project, because I always want to do new projects because there's just so many that are exciting. And the new project is I'm going to be finally getting back to doing my Italians. So Italians are the next big project. The next small project is I want to do the Silver Bayonet. So these are the Italian Spectral soldiers from North Star. So I want the first Shako campaign will be 1809. Yeah, yes, yeah. I mean, you can have sort of French Shakos versus Hungarian shakos and Austrian helmets in. But as I've always said, don't worry too much about it. You know, these things always have a bit of a crossover period. Now these guys are, as the name suggests, spectral soldiers. Now I was torn between either getting these or the zombies, and I didn't get the zombies for one very simple reason. Or sorry, the skeleton ones. And the reason I didn't get the skeleton ones is because I believe it's Wargames Atlantic have just brought those out. So let me Wargames Atlantic Zomballs. Yes, I want to say this is they. Yes, it is. So yes, Wargames Atlantic have just brought out a sprue of zombies. That's right, One of Infinity. The uniform is sort of tattered in a way that it could basically be anything. I'm having to age verify myself on this Wargaming website. Maybe it's because the zombies are so scary. The the uniforms are tattered enough that they're pretty much like unrecognizable. You just have to paint them different colors, I think. Looking at the sprue, what have we got? We got some Adrian helmets. So we got French First World War, although the Adrian was used by loads of people. You could the Russians bought them for the French supplied them in the Russian Civil War. The Romanians used them, I believe. You can use them for World War II, of course. So yeah, we've got Adrians. We've got British Peninsular Shakos. We've also got at least one Waterloo one. I'm scrolling down, so some may become more apparent. We've just got bare heads, so you can use those for Napoleonics. We've got World War II Japanese, by the look of it. Firemen and cops. French style Shakos. Tricorns. What else we got going on? Hang on, when I'm scrolling down, it's going off the image. What else? Tricorns there. Vikings, Romans, I think, by the looks of it. World War One British. Is there more than one British Shako? They look more peninsular based than Waterloo than the Belgic ones, but I mean that's okay. Again, it doesn't really matter. So that's why I didn't go for those, and that's why I went for these spectral ones instead. Now, I wanted to show you them in their raw metal because I am going to paint these up now. I'm going to paint these using the old Games Workshop technical paints with the Hex-Ray Flame, and there was a blue one as well. Now, I'm going to do these in the same way as they did their Night Haunts, basically. But what I do like about them is that these, although they're spectral, they are wearing the uniforms of Italian troops. These are, well, I say Italians, they're more like the Kingdom of Naples uniforms, actually. So you can either do them uniform here and then bleeding into sort of ghostly wisps, I suppose, or you could just do them all ghostly wisps. I'm going to do them all ghostly wisps because that's by far the quickest way of doing it. Now, these are old school metal, and these have some absolutely horrendous mold lines on them. So it's not necessarily too bad because you can probably get away with saying that some of it is spectral stuff. But here, there's a mold line that goes all the way down there. I do not miss working on metal models, that is for sure. So you've got mold lines, you've got a little burr here. Let's try and tease that out. So there is where the lead goes in. Well, it's not lead, you know what I mean? They're white metal. So these are the sculpting wires. Unfortunately, there's a mold line that goes right down the middle of his face there. So sculpting wires, they're nice. The uniforms are accurate to the period. As I say, they're more Kingdom of Naples and Italian, but that's fine. Where is Calabria? That's near Rome, isn't it? So it's sort of near Naples. It's not a million miles away, he said. Just bend that back a little bit so it'll stand up. Relatively nice poses. That's from the cover of the book. So that's a nice one. You could do these as Portuguese as well if you wanted to do a Silver Bayonet Italian campaign, but in Spain, which you could very easily do. You could do these as Portuguese quite easily as well. Croats, you could do them as. if you wanted to stay in the Austro-Hungarian, well, the Austria-Hungary. I shouldn't say the Austro-Hungarian Empire. I got very told off for saying that. So, yeah, there's lots of different uniforms you can paint them up as. You could also paint them up as Prussian reservists as well. The Shakos would be different there, but I mean, again, it's not necessarily the end of the world. So, really nice. Hopefully by next week. Well, you know what? I may paint them on stream next week because they're going to be very, very easy to paint. Now, they are a little pricey. £15 for 5 models is a lot. I mean, that is a lot. That's nearly double the price of Perry's. But you only need that one pack. That's all I'm going to use. So that's fine. Now, much cheaper than buying those is printing your own. And lo and behold, my printer, as cack as it currently is giving me some prints. So I've got this one now. This is from it's from Wargaming 3D. If you search for Gothic Horror, then it comes up with these guys. Now this is a sailor. Now some of you may know, some of you may not. My Silver Bayonet crew is Lucky Jack Aubrey, and so I've got a sailor is in the crew. Hello, sailor. There he is. So he's nice. He's got his little spike behind his back there as well. He's really nice. I'm a big fan of that model. And they also do a Richard Sharp as well. Now, this is the frustrating thing about the printer at the moment is I did the exact same print, one after the other. Now, the first one printed. Now, this is you're not going to be able to see this on the photograph, the camera, unfortunately. But this is the best likeness of Sean Bean I've seen in a model ever, and that includes all the Lord of the Rings ones as well. This is an absolutely fantastic model. Really, really is very impressive. Again, this is from 3D Wargaming. Now he comes with, he's got that's the one that didn't print properly. His arm didn't print properly there. So again, straight afterwards, I did this one, and his arm did print properly. So I don't know what the hell's going on with my printer, but there you go. So that's 2 Richard Sharps, and on here also should be his sword. Now this is why I've kept this one. It's not the end of the world. I can always just glue a lifeguard's arm on there. That's his sword. And he's also got his rifle as well. There's his rifle. There we are. So he's sort of carrying his rifle at the trail. That's his hand there. So his rifle will go on to him like so. And then he's got his sword there as well. So really, really pleased with him. He's come out lovely. He's a bit smaller than the sailor. That's all right. Sean Bean's not very tall. I met him once in the pub, and I'm taller than him. So he can't be that tall. Now, more importantly, I've also managed to print a Serpapard. So this is from the Egypt book. So we are finishing our campaign in the Carpathian Mountains. And this is a Serpapard. Now, again, you can see his tail. He didn't print properly. But I'm going to be able to mend that with a little bit of green stuff. So he goes on there, and as you can see, he's got the body of a leopard and the head of a serpent. I don't know if he's any good or not in the rules. This one has got a cooler headdress. He's got like the feathers of Isis on, but unfortunately his paw didn't print anywhere near as well, and his tail didn't print either. So I could perhaps rescue him, but he's going to be more difficult. And then most importantly of all, those of you who know me well know my love of the dromedary. So we've got ourselves some zombie camels. Now, these printed an absolute dream. These had no problems printing whatsoever. This one's really nice. Look at this one. He's got some like little birds on him, pecking at the innards. No, really, really nice. The dromedary's printed perfectly. So, because I had to put 2 prints on because of the to see what was going on, I've actually got a lot of undead dromedaries. I've got. His leg snapped off, but that was my fault. That was when I was taking him off the support. So that was my fault. I am to blame for that leg. So I've got this one here. His leg's not supposed to be on, so that's fine. So how many have I got? I got 10 zombie camels. I suspect that is too many zombie camels, but there you go. So that's what we'll be heading out. If you'd like to see me, if you'd like to see the Silver Bayonet Egypt when we get around to doing that campaign, let me know. General Dan and I and another chap, a friend called Connor, we've been playing the Carpathians through. much enjoyment, and I can't wait for us to get to the sands of Egypt. As some of you will know, I do love Egypt. So there we are. That's right, Clive. Well, I mean, you know, just wait till we do the Wars of the Roses campaign, and you see all my camels. Right, so I'm just going to move those over there. There we are. So I don't knock them off. Right, now, the moment that Lucas has been waiting for. Well, not really, because he's gone to disappear to play Legions Imperialis, which looks like a... well, I don't think so, Mark. I don't think you can have too many. No. So, I have recently printed quite a bunch of... so this is from the Kickstarter, the Thunder on the Danube Kickstarter he did. Now, these are the Guard. Now, looking at his bearskin, he has a front plate on him. So he is a Guard Grenadier. I have printed, and I may not have undercoated these. I have also printed some Chasseur as well. I'll have a look through a couple more, and if I can't find him, you'll just have to take my word for it. Well, I'll put him to one side. He's a standard bearer. He's the pioneer. He's a grenadier. He is a grenadier. So they are somewhere. I've done a bunch of chasseurs. Now, also down here. It is. Speaking of, it's hump day. That's terrible. Down here, we have a young guardsman. Now, the young guard, I am probably going to do as the young guard rather than as an Italian. Because the young guard were quite important at Aspern-Essling, and that's one of the armies I want to concentrate towards is the 1809 campaign. So, Napoleonic Italians. You Italians, Americans, as Quimby would say. Right, okie dokie. So, where are we? Now, I do have the Osprey of the Italians somewhere, but where are the Grenadiers? There we are. Oh, no, he's a French Grenadier. Right, okay. Well, the Italian Grenadiers were basically the same as the French Grenadiers, but they wore green instead of dark blue. So, we can see. Let me just get a blade. I have seen one. This is what we use for our everyday walking the streets in the UK. There we go. Just get those little spots off there. So he's got his canteen here, which is a good. So that should be painted. That's sort of like a bone color or a brownish color, because it is literally just a good. So he's got the two tassels hanging down there. Very nice. Let's check the back of his monkey's arse. He's singed something. The grenade is on there, so that's nice as well. If he were not old guard, he would just have a cross on there. So that could be annoying if you wanted to do, say, Dutch Grenadiers or something like that. But as it stands, I mean, that's absolutely fine. This guy is not a generic Grenadier. He's an old guard Grenadier. So you can't really complain that his uniform is that of the old guard, can you? He's got the Napoleon's eagle on his cartridge box there, which is he should do for the guard. Really nice. And he's also got the little bombs on his turnbacks as well. So that's a really nice little detail he's added there as well. So that's one of the poses. Not perhaps the most interesting pose. He's got it in the crook of his arm. But, you know, it's nice enough. It's nice enough. I'm a big fan of march attack poses, as you know. This guy, he's an NCO. Now, you can tell he's an NCO because he's, well, two reasons. Let me just check here. Yeah. So he's got the chevrons on his arm there. It looks like he's got chevrons down here for this arm as well. Now, chevrons are a little bit of a weird thing. They could just be for long service, or they could represent an NCO. Now the other thing that again, he's got the eagle on the thing. Now this here underneath the cartridge box, that I initially thought was just a bit of flash from the printer. I thought it was like where there had been a misprint, but it's actually his rolled bonnet de police, which they would tuck under the cartridge box there as well. So yeah, no, that's really nice as well. That's going to have to be green with piping if you wanted to do that as well. So yeah, we got the old the chevron there as well. So the chevrons don't match. He's got it looks like, well, he's got a chevron down there as well. So yeah, the chevrons do match. But the way you can tell he's an NCO is the way he's holding the musket. This was a way that only NCOs were allowed to hold a musket. Why, I have no idea. But it's barrel in, so the barrel's against his shoulder, whereas you can see with this guy, the barrel is on the top there, so it's facing out. You can tell by the way that the musket butt is. So that's going into the leg, whereas this is held a lot lower down. It's held by the lock in his hand. The lock is the bit on the musket that hits that ignites the powder that fires the ball. And you can see that the musket butt is facing outwards. So this is an NCO way of holding the musket. Now, because he's gesticulating with his hand like that, I'll probably put him on the right hand side of the. This guy here, this guy is marching pose A. Nothing spectacular about the pose, but as I said before, it doesn't have to be. These guys are just to bulk out your units. Really, really nice. The detail on the face is superb. Unfortunately, my camera's not. You can see the moustache on there. All of the eagle is detailed onto the bearskin plate there. He's got his plume up there, very nice. Now, one thing that I haven't checked actually, and we'll have a look, is how is their hair. It's difficult to tell because their greatcoats are in the way. So you can see there's another support there. So they're very well supported. You certainly don't need to worry about them being under supported, that's for sure. Now the old guard at this period should have their hair in a queue. Now that is like a ponytail that was very heavily powdered. It was fell out of favour in the Napoleonic Wars in all armies really, but the guard are something exceptional. So they should have their hair in a queue. You can't really see it because the greatcoat is on top of the pack, as it should be. So we'll just have to assume that they are. They've all got the briquette as well, the lightsaber. Oh, he's nice. He's sort of striding forward. So yeah, no, that's really nice. So there's 5. Let me see if I can get 6th for the first base. Now he is another NCO. You can see by the way he's holding the musket, so he can't go on the base. I don't want 2 NCOs on the same base. So we've got this guy here. He's got a pointy, a bendy bayonet. Is he the same pose as this guy? He is the same pose as that guy, so I don't want him on the same base if possible. This is just my OCD coming through here. He is the one who's striding forward, so we've already got one of him. He's got his arm in, so is he that guy? Nope, he's different to that guy. He's the same as that guy, so there we go. We may end up just having to move them around, so there we go. He will do. Job's a good one. And let's check the old chatteroony. Well, nice to see you, Luke. Nice to see you in the chat, buddy. What we talking? I saw much talk about 6mm. Let's have a look. A Spectral Murat to command. Yeah, well, he'd still be useless, wouldn't he? So, yeah, the Paris Revolutionary ones would fit well in Italy. Does the Russian Lifeguard Grenadiers have any special rules for historical context? Before they were made part of the Guard, they were the most senior grenadier in the army, surpassing even the Pavlovs. Yes, the Russian Lifeguard Grenadiers do have special rules. They are really, really good. They are very, very strong. Yes, they do. Bear with me uno second, because I think I've got Clash of Eagles with me. Hang on. Alas, I do not. It was the Albion Triumphant Volume 2 that I've got up here. So, no, apologies about that. But yes, no, they do definitely have their own rules. They are very strong, I seem to recall. I was thinking to fill something but little extras. I play 6 mils, so I'm happy with the minis. Yeah, 6 mils is an interesting period. It's one that doesn't really do it for me. But having said that, I have started doing a lot of epic, and that's 6 mil. So there you go. Thank you for borrowing an absolute classic. Nice to see you, Luke. Right, so what I thought I'd do, Richard. Yeah, no, it's well, it's not too. It's a bit overcast here today, to be honest with you. It was nicer yesterday. Let me see what I could put some Vassar in. There we are. Right, so I've already had a go over the Italians with the old Apothecary White. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do one today. I'm going to do the straps and his trousers. I'm going to do that with the white, which I did bring up with me. There we are. What can I use as a palette? Right, here we are. I wasn't planning on doing a huge amount of painting today, but all I want to do is I just want to show off the colour scheme of these Italians and how by painting the same model as an old guard grenadier in what looks ostensibly pretty much the same colour. In this case it's dark green instead of dark blue. Then how different it makes the model look. Now, you won't get the full effect until all the brass and the black are in place, but hopefully it'll give you some indication of how it's going to turn out. Obviously, the Italians very very well dressed, as you would expect. Although not the Neapolitans, they're a bit scruffier. The vast majority of Italian uniforms would have been white with the plastron, so the bib at the front. They were different colours depending on regiment. So one was green, one was red, one was a lot of them were white with the colour just on the edging. So again, green or red, or I think purple, one of them as well. That might have been the old Venusians, I'm not sure. But yeah, so you've got the quite an interesting looking army when it's all done and dusted. So let's get it around there as well. I'm just leaving a little bit of grey around the hand, just so we can pick that out. His waistcoat there. Now this really could be done more of a bone colour. I may go back in and redo it with Skeleton Horde or something like that, because that would be like a wool, which wouldn't necessarily be bleached as well as the rest of it. Now the straps, they would have had pipe clay on them or chalk, so they would have been quite white. Now if you're doing Austrians, you can get away with having this sort of slightly off-white colour and then just picking out the straps. That's quite an effective way of doing Austrians, because it differentiates the hard stuff that they're wearing, i.e. the leather straps and things like that, from the cloth. So that's quite a handy way of doing it. But I'm just quickly going over this guy's trousers as well. Now these Italians I am going to do in probably in summer dress, actually. So I'm going to end up doing the gaiters white, but for now I'm just going to leave the gaiters because it's not really the bit I want to focus on. But they will be white in the summer, black in the winter. Put that in there. There we go. Harris Ankar P. I am offended, sir, that you may think such a thing. If you check on the channel, you'll see I've done 2 parts on the Russian Guard. I have to say, I think they're amongst my best videos, actually. Even if I may toot my own horn for a second. And yes, no. So it's the oh, they've got crazy long names, haven't they? The 2 guard regiments, Prio Prahansk or something, I think is one of them. And yes, no, I absolutely know of the Russian Guard. Don't you worry about that. So check out my videos on the Russian Guard, and you'll see that no, I am not confusing them with the Pavlovskis. The only person I've seen who does Russian Guard in 28mm is actually Front Rank. They do a reinforcements pack of them. So you got some. That's their more recent sculpts. So they are really, really nice. Actually, I've got 4 battalions of them in the cellar, waiting to be painted. There's the ones with the blue facings, then the ones with the red facings. They've got like I always think they look like 5-bar gates on their collars. They look a bit like World War II German officers had them on their collars as well. So no, they're super cool. Definitely check those videos out if you haven't seen them. So that's just the small clothes done. I just wanted to get a bit of white on there. Again, unfortunately, because he is white, he's really shining in the sun there. That's maybe picked up a little bit that you can see. Just under his hand, his left hand, it looks a little bit dark, but I have highlighted that, I promise. Yeah, no, they do show up rarely, actually, which is surprising considering how much work they put in. They were unlike the old guard; they actually fought a lot. Again, there's a part in probably the first video, I think, where they nearly captured Napoleon at Eylau. So, right now for the green on this one, I'm going for quite a dark green, a very dark green. This is Dark Angels green. I'm using this one for 2 reasons. One, I just really like the hue of it. And secondly, the Dark Angels are far and away the best Space Marine chapter. So there you go. In fact, rather than painting Napoleonics, I should be painting my 30k Dark Angels, but I'm having a much needed break from them for now. Now, one of the keys with contrast paints is put it on quite thick. Don't be shy. Really put it on. The more you put on, the better the effect is going to be. Now, different paints require different amounts. Now, this green is kind of weird. It's very strong, but if you don't put it on thick enough, it goes very translucent. So it creates a really nice deep green. It's perfect for Russians as well. This is perhaps a little dark for Italian Guard, to be honest, but it creates a really nice dark green. Just don't scrimp on it, otherwise it goes patchy, and that's the last thing you want. One of the problems with these contrast paints is you've got to get them right first time, I find. I'm sure there are people out there that can work with them better than I can, but for me, it's you get it right first time, or it just ruins the effect. If I go back in and put a wash on it or something like that, then it changes the whole impact of it. So that's one arm done. What I'll probably do actually is I'll probably take a photograph of it and pop that up on the thing. I know I've said this before, but I will actually do it this time, because the light is because it's so much white on the model, it's not really showing the green off as being any different to if I'd painted it black or dark blue. So I will take a photo of this guy. Do my fingers get tired? No, not really. It's just a No, I guess I'm used to it now. Those figure holders, when they first came out, they looked far too much like adult bedroom toys to me. I just couldn't. I just couldn't look beyond the. I just couldn't look beyond that, I'm afraid. So I never picked it up. My brother swears by them. He uses them for painting. I assume. I hope he uses them for painting. The thought of him using them for anything else is just too much to bear. And also getting the models in and out of them. Christ, by the time I've done that, I could have painted the damn thing. So now the cuffs I'm doing straight across. This is going to be a grenadier. So their cuffs are relatively straight. They kind of stick out a little bit. But the chasseurs, I believe they're the V-lights actually for the Italians. They will be more of a chevron shape. So that's another way you can tell the difference between a grenadier and a chasseur. But these are French models. These are piano miniatures, French Imperial Guard. To be honest, there is so little difference in uniform that it's not really worth worrying about. I believe the eagle on the front plate was the only difference in actual uniform. Obviously, the colour's different, but you know, you can paint your models whatever colour you want, so that's fine. Now, here on the back is a little bit difficult to see what's strap and what's cloth. I think that's cloth there, and there's a thick strap that goes there. The cartridge box comes across there. That's the baldric for the briquette, so that goes in there. So I believe that is him done. What time are we on? 10 to 7. So I am going to have to knock it on the head at 7, I'm afraid. So there we are, looking at the front of him. You know what? I am going to do his collar now. His collar shouldn't be green. It should be just faced green. So the edges should be green. But I think it's probably going to be easier to do his collar now and then paint a red line in the middle and leave some green on either side. So I'll go across his throat as well. There we are. And that is the first model of the Italian Grenadiers. His jacket is done, his straps, etc. are done. So that's the first one who's had his base coat done. I still need to do his breeches, and I didn't expect the Russian Guard to be this terrible. The Russian Guard were okay. They fought the Grenadier Cheval a couple of times. Let the ladies of St. Petersburg weep. But they probably weren't as hard bitten as the French. That was probably their issue. Hello, Mike. The feedback was broadly positive. I'm going to speak to Boards and Swords and see what we think. I'm happy to run the event. It's just a question of, do we do it for 2 days or do we do it for 1 day? And what does it look like? Are we going to do like one large battle? Are we going to do several small battles? Are we going to do it like we do for Under Eagles to Glory? So it's just a question of sorting out. I do have a rules pack at the moment, which is almost like a team event, where you've got sort of allies and the French fighting against each other. And you know, there's going to be a final winning team on the day. That's the theme of the pack at the moment. That may change, but we'll have to see how it goes. It's a bit of a suck it and see at the moment, but we're looking at October time for it. So we're probably looking. Let me get my calendar up. We are looking possibly the 4th and 5th of October. That's something that I'm looking at because I'm actually away at the start of November. So I like to do my events at the start or the end of the month. Basically, I like to do them just after payday. That's because I don't want people coming and worrying about getting paid. So that's why I tend to do it at either the end of the month or the start of the month. A friend of mine always used to run his on the 16th, the date nearest the 16th, and I could never work it out. I still don't really know why. But that was his thing. And now you're self-employed, so he didn't really have a payday, so it wasn't a consideration for him, I guess. But yeah. Hello, Grim, and I see you again, buddy. Do I have any plans for the Neapolitan Guard? Not off the top of my head, because I'm not planning on doing any Neapolitans because they're terrible. But that may change. That may change. Yes, Nick Gams, we are painting some Italian grenadiers. I'm actually just gonna weirdly just touch up his chin with a bit of white. Put it back to the undercoat, just so I can sort that out a little bit later. So yeah, no, we've had a look at some Warlord resins today. We've had a look at some piano miniatures. God, these are. I mean, how long have I been painting? I started painting at about what, 1:45, and it's now 8 minutes to. So it's taken me about 7 minutes to CrackCon's the 18th of October. Right. Well, fair enough. Yeah. So I'll try and avoid certainly the week before or after that. Then it might even be worth something that we can do at CrackCon. I don't know. I'll have to speak to the guys at Boards and Swords and see what they fancy. There. Slowly but surely getting set to paint my Austrians. Very good, very good. That's what we like to see. More Kaiserlicks. So I'm just going to paint these down here as well while I've got the white. What else have I got? I've got some black with me. So let's pop a little bit of black on. And I don't normally paint this way. I would normally paint all of the white, all of the green, all of the black. But let's try and get this model done a little bit more. Again, I like the idea of him being a little bit further advanced painting wise, just so we can see where we're going to get to. So I have to have a 1 day campaign game with 2 teams. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's it sounds silly, and I'm not complaining, but it's a lot less effort to do that than Under Eagles to Glory, and I don't begrudge the effort, and I'm not talking about like, oh yeah, I just don't want to put the effort in. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the reward for putting in all the time and effort for Under Eagles to Glory is massive. You know, I absolutely love doing it. It's a big 2-day weekend. We get the dinner in, all that kind of stuff. A 1-day one's a little less stress, so that could be the way to go. But then it also feels a little bit shortchangey as well. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to talk to the guys about it, the Boards and Swords guys, and we'll take it from there. The other downside as well is it means I'm going to have to paint an epic army as well. And I'm not sure I'm going to have time. So that's his boots done. As I say, I'm going to do him in summer dress, so I'm not going to do his gaiters. They're going to be white. We'll get the bayonet scabbard and the briquette scabbard done here. I'm still looking at getting a Napoleonic Lego army, just because that comes pre-painted. There. And it's cool as well. I just want my army to be full of like maniacally grinning guys as they march towards the enemy in lockstep. So just doing the cartridge box. I'm sure most of you know this is where his ammunition will be kept. I've missed the back of his sleeve there, haven't I? So I'll just get this done here. Just lay this black. And this is using Black Legion, which I probably should be using Black Templar, as it's a bit of a grayer black than this, but that's okay. Leaving the underneath done, because I'm going to do that green as well. And then, of course, we've got his bearskin. So let's have a look. I don't have a printer, but a friend does. For Imperial Guard Army, I feel like you need some STLs if you want it cheap. Yeah, I mean, no one... Well, I don't know. Victrix do them in plastic, so you can get them from Victrix for relatively cheap. And for the Guard, you're not going to need that many models, he said. Certainly for cavalry, though, the costs can add up a little bit. So we'll just do this. Now, one thing I'm not sure about is the back of the bearskin. What colour that is? Is it green or is it red? I don't know. If you know, pop it in the chat for me. This area here, the monkey's arse, as it was known, is that red as it would be for French grenadiers, or is it green? I don't know. I'll just bung that up there. Green. I had a feeling it was green as well, actually, Jack. Yeah. That was my thought, but I don't know if that's actually true or if I'm just making it up. It's good to see you, Zukov. Good to see you, brother. You alone will be pleased to know that as the summer progresses, I might actually switch to a later start time. I might start at maybe 7 o'clock or 7:30, and then run through till 9. One thing I am thinking of doing, and let me know if you think this is a good idea or a bad idea. It's almost certainly a bad idea. But let me know if something you'd be interested in tuning in for is either live streaming or vlogging on Good Friday. Can I do a whole battalion in one day? Now, it won't be guard. It'll probably just be a regiment of Italian line. But it'll be starting at, say, 10 o'clock. By 8 o'clock in the evening, can I have had that whole battalion from undercoat to painted? So that's a challenge I'm thinking of setting myself. Let me know if that's something that you'd be interested in. You may not watch the whole thing, but would it be something that you drop in and out of? So, oh, there we go. I've just done his bloody front of his shoes and then stuck my finger on it, haven't I? What an idiot. All right, there we are. So by blocking in the black, let's try saying that 10 times fast. I think that has really sort of shone this model off. Now, someone said in the chat, I'll come back to it, that you received your first piano miniatures today. Where was it? I'm sure someone said it. Was it earlier on? Here we are. My Piano Wargames Kickstarter miniatures arrived yesterday. First time getting them. They are amazing. Lego facts? Yes, sirree. If you haven't bought any piano miniatures yet, honestly, guys, do yourself a favor. Get a hold of some. They are absolutely fantastic. Really, 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 really nice. They're a little bit finer than the Perrys. They're not as chunky as the Perrys, which is no criticism of the Perrys. That is very much their style, and I love it. But they are a little bit finer than that. They are really, really, really nice models. I cannot recommend them highly enough. Even if it's just the character models or something like that, you can grab them. One thing I'm not sure whether Lucas does. Now, Lucas was here earlier on, but he's had to disappear. I should ask him next time I see him. Or next time I see him in the chat. Are there any licensed sellers in the US, for instance? Where we are at the moment, there's obviously a lot of tariffs being put on around the world. 3D printing is absolutely the way forward. I've said it for many years. 3D printing is the way forward. That is another example, I think, of where 3D printing is the future. You can avoid all tariffs by buying a $4.99 STL or however much they are and printing them yourself, or finding someone in your country who is licensed to print them. It's an absolute no-brainer going forward. It's just another example, I think, of 3D printing being the future. Rear view vital for Italians, yeah, absolutely. That's it. They should have a uniform on backwards, shouldn't they? I'm just going to do this this thing here. I was talking to one of our consultants today, and she was talking about another one of our consultants, and she said, "Oh yeah, yeah, she's Italian, isn't she?" And I said, "No, she's very Italian, but if she wasn't insane, that's why we love her, because she's absolutely nuts." So bring these over there. You'll occasionally see her doing full-on like surgery in her little tea dress that she was wearing for the consultant. She's absolutely mad as a bag of frogs, but she's great. That's why we love her. Luke Farrell just completed enough ACW 4,000 figures to fight any battle of the American Civil War. Blimey, Charlie, that is impressive. No, there is not. I've already checked. Oh, okay, yep, fair enough. Thank you, Jack. Yep, it's nice to be back. I thought they were green as well. You've seen plates with them red on the back. Okay, well, I'll leave them for now. To be fair, you get quite a few young guard compared to all the middle guard. Yeah, I mean, there were 8 battalions at Aspre and Essling. So, yeah, you absolutely could. No, there is not. I've already checked. There is not. All right, okay, you've already checked to see if there's a licensed seller. Well, maybe with the tariffs, that's something that Lucas might want to look at and revisit. So, yeah, we'll have to see. Hello, Paul. Nice to see you, buddy. Italian Guard on list. Yeah, they are absolutely. They're just gorgeous models. Right, it's now 7:05. I've gone over time. I'm going to take a picture of this guy because I'm quite pleased with him. But I'm going to draw it to a close there. I want to say thank you very much for joining me. Quickly before I do, that's the young guard. He is really nice as well. I can't wait to paint him. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's nice to be back. It's been a bit of a weird one, but it's just finding our feet again. Yes, as I say, Good Friday. Possibly I'm going to try and do the battalion in a day. Let's see how that goes. But thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you guys on Sunday. Sunday is going to be hopefully the getting started guide for Revolutionary French. So I'm hoping that's going to be a good one. It will be a good, of course, it'll be a good one. And I am hoping to see you guys then. Have a fantastic week, and I'll see you guys next time.